Moscow. Ukraine is hoping to receive several dozen F-16 fighter jets from NATO partners, following the United States' approval of training Ukrainian pilots to fly the aircraft. Moscow has promised to take into account the deployment of F-16s in its military strategy and has warned that such an escalation scenario carries great risks for the West. The F-16 is a hardworking fourth-generation multi-role fighter aircraft from the United States. The reputation of the fighter jet would suffer a serious blow if the aircraft were sent to Ukraine and destroyed on their airfields or shot down in air-to-air combat by Russian jets. This assessment comes from a new analysis by an independent military news portal, which cites the previously expressed reluctance of Washington to allow allies such as the Netherlands and Norway to supply older F-16s to Ukraine as an indication that U.S. officials acknowledge that the United States would bear the primary risks of their deployment. Not only is there a possibility that the fighter jets or their technology could fall into Russian hands, like other Western equipment in significant quantities, but there is also a much greater likelihood that the fighter jets would suffer significant losses either while attacking their airfields or in air-to-air combat, which would be a major blow to the reputation of the F-16, the portal notes. Pointing out the outdated status of the F-16 compared to similar rivals, the outlet emphasizes that in a battle against the Russian Air Force, there is a very high probability that the class of fighter jets would only have very limited survivability due to a lack of stealth capabilities and limited ability to counter heavy-class top-tier aircraft in the Russian fleet, including the Su-35, MiG-31, and Su-57. Deploying them to Ukraine also means vulnerability to long-range surface-to-air missiles from Russia. The portal highlights that the U.S. defense industry complex has suffered a major reputation blow this week following the successful Tuesday attack on the Patriot missile defense system by the Russian Kinzhal hypersonic missile. The analysis notes that although the upgraded F-16 Block 70/72 may have the potential to survive against Russian fighter jets, fewer than 24 aircraft have been produced, and the cost of each over $120 million likely makes them too expensive to be used in Ukraine. On the other hand, Lockheed Martin prefers to sell them to buyers in Asia and the Middle East. The concerns raised by the media outlet echo the views of former U.S. Air Force pilot turned Heritage Foundation researcher John Venable, who warned earlier this month that the F-16 would be completely outmatched in high-threat environments like Ukraine. According to him, the S-400 air defense system would be able to lock onto the jets before they have a chance to approach close enough to carry out an attack. President Biden acknowledged on Sunday that deploying F-16s would not help Kyiv defend the newly lost city of Artemovsk, Bakhmut, in Donetsk, at all. On Thursday, the U.S. president informed G7 counterparts that Washington would support joint efforts to train Ukrainian pilots to operate fourth-generation jets, including the F-16. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan declined to provide details or a training schedule, including when the jets could be delivered to Kyiv. "Our view is that the F-16 is not suited for combat at this time," Sullivan told reporters on Saturday. He stated that if they were to possess F-16s now, it would not be the primary focus of what they need on the battlefield for this counteroffensive. Therefore, they feel positioned to provide Ukraine with what they need for future strength when they need it. Several U.S. allies have indicated that they are not ready to part with their supplies of F-16s to be given to Ukraine. The F-16 variants have served as the backbone of the U.S. Air Force and over 24 other countries for over 40 years. These fighter jets have been widely used as the aircraft of choice in U.S. and NATO-led aggressive wars in Iraq, Yugoslavia, Afghanistan, and Libya, as well as conflicts involving Israel, Pakistan, Gulf countries, Morocco, and Jordan.